Welcome to the 2026 NCHSAA Basketball Championships presented by Riddle & Riddle Injury Lawyers. Day one of the NCHSAA Championships closes with two newcomers vying for the biggest women's basketball prize. The 8A title game features the 2 seed out of the West, the Mallard Creek Mavericks, and the top seed from the East, the Hoggard Vikings. Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to Lawrence Joel Memorial Coliseum in Winston-Salem. Patrick Keys, Jay Soderhalter, and Jay. Now it's the women's time for Hoggard, a chance to win their first ever state championship going against Mallard Creek. Neither team has been here before. Somebody's going to walk away with the top prize. Yeah, and Hoggard's a team that only had one loss throughout the regular season. They dominated over on the East, and Mallard Creek has college prospects. They're a big team, but they went through the talented West portion of the bracket to get here. I think we're going to see similar styles. I think this will be a physical ball game, Patrick. All right, let's get to our players to count on tonight, brought to you by Riddle & Riddle Injury Lawyers, when justice counts. Kristen Shivers shined in the regional victory over Willow Springs, just exploding, scoring the basketball, averages right at 18 points per game. She's the catalyst for their offense, driving to the hoop, her outside shooting, being up front on their defensive pressure. Look for her to be aggressive in this game. Over from Mallard Creek, Kiara Anderson is excellent. She does it all, scoring, rebounding, defense. She's a post presence that can take it outside and shoot it as well. But they look for her in different ways to be the starter for their offense, whether it's shooting or dishing the ball off to her teammates. So she's a senior leader for this Mavericks team. All right, now for the Ingles Food for Thought, our keys, brought to you by Ingles. Low prices, lovely savings. For the Vikings, they want to be physical in this ball game and use their toughness, especially on the boards. And they've got to protect the basketball, limiting their turnovers on offense. For the Mavericks, win the paint area, use their size to their advantage, and then controlling the pace, knowing when to push it, knowing when to play slow. They want to force their tempo on Hoggard. Mallard Creek and Hoggard, neither has won a state championship. Tip-off for the 8A title. Hoggard and Mallard Creek is next.
The broadcast stream of these championship games is brought to you by Tip Top Roofing, Faith Family Roofing.
And welcome to the Lawrence Joel Memorial Coliseum on the campus of Wake Forest University. Patrick Heatis, Jay Sohnhalter with you tonight. It is the capstone of day one, the 8A Women's Championship. Mallard Creek, 23-6, the 2 seed out of the West, and the Hoggard Vikings, the top seed out of the East region, 28-1. First ever title appearance for both squads, although Mallard Creek has been in the regional final 6 previous times, lost all 6 before this year, finally breaking through that ceiling. And here they are for Carlin Dixon tonight in the state title game for the 8A championship. And there is Dixon in her 6th year. Was with Middle Creek as the JV coach for a while, left to begin her own basketball academy, and then returned in 2021 and finally has the Mavericks. They've made it, the state championship game, but one more step to take. And Boubacar All, the former Georgetown Hoya, recruited by John Thompson, 50-year-old head coach, trying to take Hoggard to a state title. The tip is controlled by Mallard Creek. They're in the home whites, and the Vikings in the deep navy uniforms. And off we go, Jay, for the 8A title.
Kiara Anderson going to Georgia Southern with the ball. She's their top scorer, but they've got 4 college players committed on their team, and I would expect them to try to go down low where they've got a height advantage. The pass a little too high there. I'll tell you, Hoggard is a physical team, Patrick, and they're going to try to limit those post touches.
All right, let's get to our starting lineups presented by Tatum and Atkinson. If you are injured in a car wreck, call the heavy hitters at Tatum and Atkinson. And the starting 5 right there for Hoggard. Shivers averaging 18 points a contest. And we get our first foul of the championship. And meanwhile, the Mallard Creek starting lineup there, led, as Jay mentioned, by Kiara Anderson, heading to Georgia Southern, averaging 15 points a game, second on the squad in 3-point makes over the course of the year. The first free throw is good, and the Vikings on the board. Altman will have one more coming from the Tatum and Atkinson free throw line. And the starting 5 for Mallard Creek, 23-6. 9-1 out of the MEC Power 6 Conference, a combo of 7 and 8A teams. 1-0 lead for the Vikings. And now the Mavericks. Anderson, number 4. Sydney McGuire runs the point. And the Vikings will open up in a little matchup zone here. Minute gone by for the 8A title. As Jay mentioned, we're going to be watching the tempo of this game, very deliberate, very methodical, picking their spots. That one a little bit short, and Hoggard the rebound, collected by Altman.
Good defensive effort from Altman, getting that board, coming over with the help defense.
And that is mishandled off the fingertips of Anna Kate Chance. Turnover by Hoggard. Our officials for this title game: Marcus Brown, the referee, Elisa Abron and Sarah Lawrence are the umpires.
Mallard Creek beating Ardrey Kell by 15 points over at Lenore Rhine in their regional final victory to get here to Wake Forest. This is a group that has been challenged in league play, and a nice drive from Hobbs going baseline.
Maria Hobbs, who transferred in from J.R. Robinson, key addition to this Mavericks team this year. It's a 2-1 lead from Mallard Creek. Early stages opening quarter for the 8A title. Going for the steal, Anderson came up short, and now the steal is confirmed. And down the lane goes Young to the hole, misses the layup. Rebound to Hoggard. Mallard Creek knocked off Ardrey Kell, the top seed in the West. Beat them by 15 points. Hoggard, meanwhile, the top seed. They have a lot of resistance. They won 20 in a row coming in. Their only loss is back in the middle of December against Heritage. But in their 28 wins this year, only 3 of them for Boubacar Allah's squad has been single digits.
Sydney McGuire with the ball, passing it off. She was the defender there to get the 10-second call. Really good job there, moving her feet.
Off the mark is Stone for 3. And here comes Shivers into the half court for Hoggard. Shivers never stopped. Challenge shot, deflected a bit, and taken down by Mallard Creek. Young, the kick into the corner. Hobbs goes cross. Stone. And a second shot now for the Mavericks.
Those long rebounds are difficult. You've got to box out. Mallard Creek reading it off the rim.
And a nice runner there by Anderson.
She is so smooth shooting the basketball, knowing when to pull up in the mid-range.
4 seniors in the starting 5 for the Mavericks. Only McGuire is an underclassman. She's a junior. It's a very experienced team. Team that started 8-0, lost a couple of games, or 2 losses to North Mecklenburg. At the other end in transition off of the turnover. Anderson the layup. That is a 6-1 opening game salvo by Mallard Creek, and a timeout taken by Hoggard.
Good timeout from Hoggard just to slow down the start here, being down 6-1. And here the loose ball goes to Anderson. She's got so much speed. She excels out on the run.
All right, Jay, let's handicap this game. Based on what you know about these two programs, their styles, where is this game really going to pivot?
Well, for Mallard Creek on the defensive end, they want to create pressure out on the perimeter and get the ball out of Shiver's hand. If they can do that and allow her to kind of be the number 2 player outside instead of letting her handle the ball, that's where they're really going to put their focus on, is forcing someone else to beat them. She's the Bellarmine commit. She's an excellent point guard. And over for the other side, for the Vikings, they've got to play good interior defense, force Mallard Creek to shoot it from the outside. Then on offense, they've got to make good decisions with their shot selection and move the ball.
Now for the Vikings, much like Mallard Creek, Hoggard has broken through as well. They got to the regional finals each of the last couple of years, but they were knocked out by the number 1 seed. Wakefield last year, Rollsville a couple of years ago. But now as the top seed, Hoggard was able to navigate its way through the entire bracket. 6-1 Mavericks. Anderson. There's McGuire. And a tough pass to handle out of bounds. Turnover by Mallard Creek.
And the Mavs being very methodical on offense, moving the ball, taking their time. They thought there was a crease there. Shivers closed the gap there, knocking the ball out of bounds. But you got to move without the ball and stay patient.
It was deflected out, so Mallard Creek keeps it, but missing a shot in close is Young. And the Vikings bring it up the floor, trailing 6-1. 3 turnovers, and they missed their first couple of shots of this title game, and there's another one. But they turn it right back over. Vikings basketball, and a double dribble charge against the Vikings. So rapid fire turnovers. It'll give it back to Mallard Creek when we return. Underway for the 8-8 Women's Championship. An early 6-1 lead for Mallard Creek. Get some of our fans tonight on our Original Grills fan cam. Elevate your grill game. The Middle Creek cheerleading squad, Hoggard Vikings cheer squad. Did you see coming out of the break the dad sneak some Sour Patch Kids from the kids?
I saw the snack
on his lap?
He was sharing.
How dare you? I would do the same thing. 6-1 lead for Mallard Creek. 3.5 to go in the opening quarter for the 8A championship, and we get an offensive foul against the Mavericks for an illegal screen that's charged against Young.
Mallard Creek foul charge to number 2, Aisha.
Well, for Hoggard, they've got to find a way to get their offense going. And the pressure on Shivers has been there. Help side defenders along with McGuire really trying to limit her driving lanes. But they've got to get the ball movement cutting without the ball, just making the defense work more.
Altman gets it back to Shivers. She's left open on the wing. Rimming off with a 3. A battle for the rebound, grabbed by the Mavericks. Outlet McGuire. And locates Stone. Baseline take and scores. First points for Stone. 8-1 Mallard Creek.
The help side defense not coming over to close off the baseline. Created a clear path to get to the hoop.
Hoggard 3 turnovers and now has missed all 4 of its shots so far in this title game. A runner by Shivers short. Rebound Young, quickly looking up the floor, hits Hobbs over the top, blocked from behind, and then I believe a Mavericks foul. And it's going to go on Young. Avery takedown from behind. That's 2 quick wins on Young.
Yeah, Avery Fitzgerald hustling back. Watch 23, timing it perfectly. And there's the foul.
Welcome to the floor for Mallard Creek, number 12.
For Hoggard here, down by 7, facing this pressure. And the Mavericks defense has been really good thus far.
And freshman London Faison comes in for Mallard Creek as Young leaves with 2 fouls here in this opening quarter. 8-1 Mavericks lead. Shivers through the middle. A good pass to the inside, Guthman. Over to the corner, Altman, yes. That's a 3 for Altman. First 3 of the game. Paramount Auto, a 3-pointer. Visit ParamountAuto.com.
And Altman, only a sophomore, good-looking shooter from the outside, had her feet set, and she was ready to shoot as soon as the ball hit her hands.
Throw back to Hobbs, room on the right baseline, and fouled on the way up. She will head to the free throw line. Foul against Hoggard's Guthman.
Hobbs headed to Western Carolina. She's a versatile post player with her size, her mid-range jumper, and the power that she plays with getting to the hoop.
And at the Tatum and Atkinson free throw line, first one is made by Hobbs. If you're injured in a car wreck, call the heavy hitters at Tatum and Atkinson.
Into the Hoggard lineup, please welcome number 33, Ella Jones.
Ella Jones, junior, averaging 13 a game off the bench for the Vikings. She's in. To 4 lead for Mallard Creek. And a couple of free throws made by Hobbs. She has 4 points in this opening quarter. 10-4 Mavericks. Shivers plays it to Altman. Now Jones. Shivers' little spin move on the baseline and puts it off glass and scores. Nice move. First points for Shivers.
So creative. She felt the defender shaded over to the inside, kind of baited her, and then the quick spin move to get to the baseline.
10-6 Mavericks. Jumper in the lane, missed. Rebound to Avery Fitzgerald. Vikings starting to settle in here on the offensive end. Shivers. Altman. And here is Fitzgerald for 3. Rims it in. Yes. She likes these rims in Winston-Salem. Avery Fitzgerald, the senior, knocks down a 3. And it's a 1-point game with 48 seconds left in the opening quarter.
That's a beautiful high arcing shot. And you just get the feeling that Hoggard's starting to gain more confidence and be more comfortable. And sometimes it takes teams this atmosphere, a couple possessions, to get things going.
Faison out to Hobbs. Jab step. Thought about the deep jumper. 25 seconds left. Doesn't look like the Mavericks are holding for the final shot. That's partially blocked. Grab by the Vikings. And for as rough of a start as it was, they can grab the lead at the end of the first quarter. Shivers, underhand flip, ball fake. Altman, the uncontested drive, and missed a layup. 6 seconds left first quarter. Up ahead, McGuire into the half court from 30. All there. And that is the end of the opening quarter. of the 8A championships. Mallard Creek with a 1-point lead as they play for their first title. The Vikings and Mavericks have never been here. 1-point game for the Mavericks after one. First quarter stats sponsored by Arthritis Knee Pain Center. Relief without surgery or opioids.
Both teams trying to get into a flow offensively, shooting the basketball pretty even thus far. Mallard Creek winning on the boards +2.
Points in the paint. Sponsored by Ready to Roll Garage Doors. Call Raleigh's Garage Door experts today if you are ready to roll.
That's where the strength is for the Mavericks in the paint area. That's where they've attacked.
Second quarter begins. Mallard Creek 10, Hoggard 9.
Zone pressure, different look.
They go around the outside, play it to the middle, and Chance. Kick to the wing, Altman off of the heel. And the rebound off of a couple of sneakers. Picked up by the Vikings. Second crack for Hoggard.
A lot of contact, no fouls called.
Hoggard
moving the ball here, Patrick. Forcing the defense to work.
And Hoggard has not led. And here's a left-handed three, and that's missed by Altman. And the defensive rebound cleared away by Anderson. Anderson behind the back a couple of times into the half court. Deflected pass, tries to dig it out of there, and a tie-up. Arrow will keep it with Mallard Creek.
Altman, only a sophomore, such a good defender there with the recognition, reading it, and then getting your arms up. And that forces the jump ball. Here's the pass from Anderson, trying to find her teammate. Quick reaction and then the hustle.
Off the baseline, this is Hobbs. Throws out, this is a three, hammered home by Anderson.
Her jump shot is so smooth. That three-pointer looked true as soon as it left her hand.
And here's a three the other way. That one splashes down from Avery Fitzgerald. Paramount Kia of Asheville, three-pointer, couple of them. Visit ParamountAuto.com.
Her second made three, Fitzgerald, from the same spot, right in the middle of the court, that rainbow.
And she has a beautiful stroke, beautiful release.
It looks so good.
Anderson steps left, she'll fire a three. Strong side rebound, and a foul going on the Mavericks. It'll be on Cameron Hobbs.
That was because of AK Chance's box out. Being physical, staying low, trying to push Hobbs back, and she got the call.
13-12, Vikings down a point. Shivers working on Campbell, gets right past her and then gets fouled on the approach. And Shivers will shoot a couple of free throws.
And when you're a top scorer, as Shivers is, you know the defense is going to do everything it can to limit your opportunities. She saw crease, one of the few she's had this game. She went aggressive downhill and knew she'd either finish or get to the free throw line.
3 points now for Shivers. One more from the See-Through Construction free throw line. See-Through Construction, your contractor of choice on the OBX. 13-13. Still tied, rebound on the run, and here come the Mavericks. Look at the handles by Anderson, shifty. Now it's stopped to the sideline, well done defensively by Altman. Now they got to rise on her sideline as she made that stop right in front of her bench. Seen possessions like this several times here for the Mavericks. That's an ill-advised pass to the inside. Easy takeaway for Altman. And now Shivers tries to give the Vikings their first lead of the championship.
2 steals for Altman. Read it there. And for Hoggard here, after that slow start, they've just continued to play better here as this game's worn on.
Altman, baseline take. She's been a threat from the perimeter and had the defender kind of giving up some space, closing out. And the bucket by Altman gives the Vikings their first lead.
Now 6 points, taking the baseline. Even when the defensive pressure came over, she's able to focus and finish.
15-13, Hoggard. Anderson working hard against Shivers, nowhere to go. And a face on. A look back at her coach. Through the high post, Hobbs. Spins on Altman, tough shot, late whistle. And Okarov gesturing down that sideline for Hoggard. He thought that was pretty well defended.
Yeah, he's animated over on the sideline. It's hard not to miss him with his size. He's a star player at Georgetown, and he was over on that sideline making it known. Still having a conversation.
Yeah, he's still lobbying. Again, he spent some time in D.C. That's what people in D.C. do. They lobby. Played in about 130 games at Georgetown. Started 98 for the Hoyas and recruited by the legendary John Thompson. Hobbs makes 1 of 2. 15-14, Hoggard. Shivers working against Easterling. First foul on Easterling. We'll hand check the backcourt.
I know the foul goes against the Mavs, but that pressure has been there throughout the game on Shivers. I look right here at Easterling, just making it difficult.
She gets screened off now, so a switch. Shivers driving now against Hobbs, but well defended by the Mavericks. Hobbs the other way. 15-14 Vikings. Hobbs all the way to the hoop. Bounces off, got her own miss. No dribble necessary. Great effort at both ends of the floor by Hobbs.
Well, and they're just staying with it and not giving up. And after that first shot is missed, still staying balanced to get that board. And then she didn't bring it down. She kept it high, put it right back up.
Screen the other way for Shivers. Out front, Fitzgerald. A lot of screening action on the perimeter for the Vikings. Try to get the mismatch they're looking for. Shivers on the baseline, too high off the glass. Mavericks on the move. Anderson in the open floor to the sideline. Stone for 3. Loose ball picked up by the Vikings, but it traveled as the shovel pass was being delivered. 3:25 left first half. Mallard Creek up by 1 on Hoggard. 16-15 from Winston-Salem. Hey fans, stay tuned. The Air Experts Heating and Cooling halftime report is on the way. In about 3 minutes of basketball time, an interview with the Commissioner Q Tucker. Stats, highlights, and more. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sonhalter. 8A Women's Championship. It was a heartbreaking loss less than an hour ago for the Hoggard men, but fell victim in the final moment to West Charlotte. By final moment, I mean the final seconds. For the only lead of the game for West Charlotte, a 2-point win over the Hoggard men, who were looking for their first ever state title. Now the women are trying to get their first. And the bucket on the inside. Young with her first points. And a lead to 3 for the Mavericks.
And you're so happy for West Charlotte winning that game, but devastation for Hoggard. And then the women's team coming out on the floor right after that. You could tell they felt bad for the boys team who went through the heartbreaker. Then they had to come out, kind of refocus, and go through their warm-ups to get ready.
Here's Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald's made a couple of threes. Good fake, got it to Altman, a little bit shorts on the 7-footer. Offensive rebound. Shivers takes the whip cross-court pass. Only 2:40 to go in the first half. Shivers will recycle the offense. Shadowed by Easterling still. Fitzgerald on a screen looking for a back pick, loose ball, and a foul call. It's going the other way. This will go against Jones of the Vikings.
Easterling broke on that pass. What a defensive effort. Watch this ball go through. Number 1 just broke through there, then hustles to get the possession and the foul.
Guthman is back in, replacing Jones for the Vikings. Mallard Creek 18, Hoggard 15. Neither team is shooting the ball very well at all here in this first half, which is not entirely surprising. Sometimes, I mean, these teams, even the big schools, this being the 8A, throw it in, and the foul. Emery Hobbs gets the bucket. She'll shoot a free throw. 9 points in the opening half.
The high post, she looks at her teammates, then sees a path to attack, and she is so athletic and skilled and finds a way there to finish and knock down the free throw.
Double figures already for Hobbs. 21-15 Mallard Creek. Shivers does not stop, draws a lot of attention. Altman, a straight line in the hole, too strong with the layup attempt. And the Mavericks running down the floor have some numbers. Hobbs this time tries the right baseline. Young, the kick to Anderson, in and out. And retrieved in the corner by AK Chance. As we were talking about, the shooting here in the first half, these teams just don't shoot in big venues, kind of cavernous venues like this. And for some players, it's going to take a little bit of adjustment to get used to it, but no adjustment needed for Avery Fitzgerald. Straight on with her third 3 of this first half.
She likes that spot out on the floor. She has looked smooth, very comfortable, and you've got to close out strong on her.
21-18, Vikings down 3. Hobbs off of the wing, misses. The rebound to Fitzgerald. Quick hit ahead, Shivers. Vikings can tie it with a 3. Still the live dribble, Shivers. Hemmed in. It takes the return. And that is deflected into the backcourt. Shivers will pick it up. Still possession to the Vikings. 45 seconds left in the half. And a very soft foul in the backcourt. Second on Easterling.
They're starting to make calls when they're trying to body up Shivers.
And a reminder, stay tuned at the conclusion of the game. Jay and I will select the Akeem Anastapulo Law Firm play of the game. If you're injured, don't scream. Call Akeem, dial 800 all 7s. And then also the Riddle and Riddle player of the game. Sponsored by Riddle and Riddle, when justice counts. 21-18, Mallard Creek. Clock running, inside 40 seconds for the half. Fitzgerald has made 3 3-pointers. chance. Out front with 25. Shivers comes to it. She'll penetrate, dish it off, and throw it away. Off the hands of Guthman.
Just not able to hold on and execute, but still good job managing that pressure, finding a way to get the defense off balance. And Mallard Creek here, they're up 3, an opportunity to take the final shot.
Halftime show on the way. Air Experts Heating and Cooling halftime report. Q Tucker will join us. First half stats and highlights and more. Air Experts, schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com. Final 5 seconds of the first half and a foul with 5.3. And this will go on the Vikings. It looks like it's on Chance.
Vikings foul charge to 32.
Non-shooting. Mavericks will throw in, leading by 3. Boubacar on the sideline for the Vikings in his defensive stance. Trying to get that denial. Hobbs cuts, takes the pass, missed the short shot, gotten back shot no from Young. Rebounded the Vikings, and they just dodged a last-second bucket in the first half. But Camry Hobbs leading the way, 10 points for the Mavericks. A 3-point halftime lead for Mallard Creek. It's 21-18. Mavericks will come back. The Air Experts Heating and Cooling halftime report for Winston-Salem. The 8A championship game for the women at the break. Mallard Creek leading Hoggard by 3.
You're watching the Air Experts Heating and Cooling Halftime Report. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com.
Well, hey there, everybody. Thank y'all so much for tuning into the state championship high school basketball games. Joining us is our long-standing partner all the way from Ingalls Markets, Miss Melissa Level. Melissa, are you loving these excellent basketball games?
I love it. What a great season it's been, and the best of the best is right here now on television.
Best of the best is right. Now let's talk about that long-standing and robust partnership between Ingalls and high school championship athletics. What all does that entail?
It's just absolutely wonderful to be able to connect with all the schools within our region. You know, we're in 6 states, and so we have Friday Night Lights with football, we do basketball, we have softball, even some Olympic style sports, and we go all the way up through college, and then of course some minor leagues. But we just love that high school spirit and the fun with that. A lot of those players work with us. A lot of their parents have a shop at our Ingalls, so it's kind of like a big family coming to watch all of them play, right? So we love that.
We'll love it as well. Melissa, as always, thank you for taking the time to speak with us here today.
Thank you.
All righty. Let's get back to the game, folks.
You're watching the Air Experts Heating and Cooling Halftime Report. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com.
Championship week is always a special time for high school athletics in North Carolina. Joining us now is NCHSAA Commissioner Q Tucker to talk about what this event means for student athletes across the state. Commissioner Tucker, Championship week is finally here. What does this event mean for the student athletes who have worked all season to get to this stage?
All of the teams that are playing this week are regional champions. And so they entered this week as already a champion, and now they're trying to, put that cherry on the top, so to speak, and go home with a state championship.
This year's championships feature 16 games across 8 classifications for both boys and girls. What went into the decision to structure the championships this way?
A couple of years ago, the membership voted to amend our bylaws so that you could have no more than 64 schools in a classification. Now, it would have been very easy to stop at perhaps 6 classes, but at the rate we've been adding new schools, we would very quickly needed the membership to amend the bylaw again so that we could have more than 64 teams in a class, or we'd have to go ahead and have more classes. So the recommendation to our board of directors was that we go ahead and go to 8 classes, and that would give some flexibility in terms of adding new schools.
How does that expanded format create more opportunities for schools and student athletes across the state?
Because we have more schools that are getting into the playoffs than would have ever been in the playoffs, and they're able to make a deeper run. And that's exciting for those schools as well as for those communities.
For many of these athletes, this is the biggest stage they've ever played on. How does the association work with schools to prepare them for moments like this?
They needed to know, where your team will unload and how you get into the arena, what your dressing room situation will be like. Lawrence Joel Coliseum will be the largest arena they have been in for some of them. And so we just try to make sure that all the nuts and bolts are in place for the coaches to be able to share with the athletes.
When the final buzzer sounds on championship weekend, what do you hope every student athlete walks away remembering about this experience?
We want you to play hard. We want you to play to win, but we want you to do that and have fun so that you walk away and you think, we won, it was great, or we were runner-up, but it was great, and I had a great time with my teammates. For some of them, it would be the last time that they put on that high school jersey because they're seniors. So we want them to go away with those memories that will last a lifetime.
Commissioner Tucker, thanks for joining us, and congratulations to all the teams competing this week.
Thank you very much.
The broadcast stream of these championship games is brought to you by Tip Top Roofing, Faith Family Roofing.
Women's 8A championship at halftime. Mallard Creek up 3 points on Hoggard, 21-18. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sonhalter, our great crew here in Winston-Salem, welcoming you back to the final game of the day one session. There are 4 days here in Winston-Salem. And Jay, let's get to our first half highlights with Mallard Creek up by 3. They got off to a quick start in their first attempt to win a state championship.
They jumped out. They were shooting the ball well. Their offense did slow down. Their defense was strong throughout the first half. Anderson was the catalyst coming out on defense that led to her offense. I thought Hobbs was really good here in the high post. She created, made a play for the and one. She had a dominant first half. Over on the other side, Altman, the young sophomore, coming through with some plays. There's Fitzgerald knocking down her three-pointer shot. She was on fire, but Hoggard got it going as the game wore on.
Yeah, Fitzgerald wound up with 3 made threes in the first half. Hobbs led all scorers with 10. And let's now check out our first half stats. Brought to you by Arthritis Knee Pain Center. At Arthritis Knee Pain Center, relief without surgery or opioids.
Neither team shooting the ball well, but you look at Mallard Creek, 17 rebounds compared to only 12 for Hoggard. So that's a point of conversation for both teams at the halftime break. And 10 combined turnovers. I thought it was a clean first half.
All right, now let's check out the points in the paint. Mallard Creek a 12-2 advantage on Hoggard. Ready to roll garage doors. If you are ready to roll, call Raleigh's Garage Door Experts today. 21-18, the halftime lead for Mallard Creek, but a half to go before they claim their first state title. Hoggard is looking for its first title. The last 16 minutes on the way from Winston-Salem. And ready for the last 16 of the 8A championship. Mallard Creek and Hoggard. 3-point lead for Mallard Creek. Hoggard gets the basketball to begin the second. FJ, what kind of adjustments are you expecting to see?
I think for Hoggard, you got to find a way to get the ball to Shivers and allow her to get more looks. She's your top scorer, and then Fitzgerald too. She was your leading scorer there in the first half, so get her more involved. Then on the other side for the Mavericks, just keep pounding the ball in the paint area.
Big three knocked down by Anna Kate Chance. Ties the game. Paramount Kia of Asheville three-pointer Visit ParamountAuto.com.
That's exactly how you want to start out the second half. Now, even ball game for Hoggard, getting off to a hot start.
It's 5 threes by Hoggard in the championship. And the lead returns to the Mavericks as Asia Young hangs on the block and scores. 23-21, Mallard Creek. And here's Shivers and a reach it in. How about Sidney McGuire getting in there and forcing a tie-up, and effectively a turnover. Arrow goes the other way.
She's been really good on the defensive end. She gets that jump ball back to her team. But she has been one of the forces that trying to slow down Shivers and not make it easy on her to start the offense.
Maverick basketball. Hobbs had 10 in the first half. On the deck once, pivots. Stone gets it now to Anderson. McGuire probing, steps back, shoots over the bigger defender, misses the fadeaway jumper. Rebound ricochets off the knee, and now we get another tie-up, but this time we'll go the other way to Hoggard.
This time the arrow is with
Able to get her
Hoggard.
hands on it. 23-21 lead. There's Carlin Dixon. Back in her 6th year as the head coach for Mallard Creek. Shivers off the wing. They show big with a second defender in Young to slow her down. Pass gets whipped to the inside, and a travel as Hoggard.
The pass from Shivers, recognizing the double team coming over. She found her open teammate. That's just difficult. The recovery from the Mavs defense making it hard to get that shot up.
Through the high post. Young is going to face up. She has that in her range, misses the shot. And Altman runs down the rebound and almost threw it away. Now an odd man break for Hoggard. Shivers with some space. A hesitation. She got bucks. And that is going to be the third on Young.
Number 2, Myasia Young. That's her third. First team foul of the quarter.
Young will stay on the floor for Mallard Creek. 3 fouls. Hoggard down by 2. Shivers go ahead and kind of readjust that shot with a taller defender coming out. And Shivers sends it through. A tie game, 23-all.
A good take, and that is a difficult shot with the floater and readjusting her body.
And there's McGuire, the junior. Her first points of the championship. Paramount Kia Asheville 3-pointer. Head to ParamountAuto.com. 26-23, Mallard Creek. Jones misfires from deep. And a timeout is taken by Mallard Creek. 5:22 for the third. Mallard Creek leading by 3, 26-23.
And Hoggard right now down by 3. Their three-point shot has been very effective in this ball game. 5 for 9. Majority of those coming from Fitzgerald. We're on the other side. Mallard Creek only 1 for 7, but they're kind of executing in different ways. Mallard Creek's going to their bigs down low. That's where their strength is, getting towards the hoop, and Bubakar out there making a message known to his team.
Let's take a look at some of our fans tonight for this 8A title game on our Original Grills Fan Cam. Elevate your game. The Hoggard Viking cheerleading team hoping to see one state title out of 2 opportunities today. 26-23 is the lead for Mallard Creek. 5:15 left here in the third quarter. A little back screen, a little give and go from the high post. Layup is missed by Stone, and a couple of bodies to the deck, and a jump ball again. 0 to Mallard Creek.
Great cut from Jasmine Stone on that last possession. This has been a physical ball game. Each team hustling at the highest level, diving for every loose ball.
Maverick basketball up by 3. Young Long over the top pass, might have been double deflected. Anderson finds it, dribble off her heel and saves, but a double dribble call against Anderson.
Possession back to Vikings.
There's Anderson just trying to make a play. And Altman with the defensive pressure.
Vikings ball, and then Fitzgerald got knocked to her backside.
Mavericks foul charge to number 3, Jasmine
Stone with her first foul.
First personal, 2 second.
4:48 for the third. It's been a bit of a rugged defensive struggle. And the Vikings get it in. No-look pass back to Shivers off the baseline. Left it short. Anderson soars for the rebound. Mallard Creek by 3. Anderson all bounce, bang shot. That's a tough finish for Anderson.
Good look there from the mid-range. You're right, Patrick. This has been a tough offensive game. Each team scoring 58, 59 points in their regional final victory. A slower pace in this one.
Fitzgerald sets the screen to free up Altman, who rolls it in. Airily Altman has 8 points. 28-25, Mavericks. Pace hastening. Anderson misses the runner. Offensive rebound to the Mavericks. Young. A foul on the end line going against Hoggard. That will be the second on Altman. 4:01 for the third. And Guthman is back in, replacing Jones. McGuire barks out the play. Hobbs gets it in Anderson's hands. He'll fire from distance. Altman kind of a rebound leaning against McGuire. And Hoggard down the floor.
Strong box out from Altman to get that board.
Jay, I'm not quite sure this game gets out of the low 40s.
Yeah, I mean, right now the offense is just having struggles going against the defensive effort.
Here's Fitzgerald, scoops it too strong. Offensive board, Guthman, pocket picked. Loose though, back to Chance. And there's Shivers on the reversal.
Finally, a clean look, wow.
In a one-point contest, Mallard Creek up 28-27.
They execute there on the scramble.
Nearing 3 minutes for the third. Anderson finds Young. Hobbs working on Guthman, takes her, scores, and draws the foul. First points of the half for Camry Hobbs. And she's been a difference maker all year for the Mavericks. And she'll head to the foul line when we come back. 2:51 left third quarter. Mallard Creek is not trailed. They've been tested, but they're up by 3 late in the third. Coming up toward the end of our game tonight, we'll check out the Akeem Manastapulo Law Firm play of the game. Injured? Don't scream, call Akeem. Dial 800, all sevens. And we will also have the Riddle and Riddle player of the game, sponsored by Riddle and Riddle Injury Lawyers, when justice counts. Mallard Creek 30, Hoggard 27. Mavericks at the line with Camry Hobbs. She has 12 points in the contest, now 13. There have been two very brief leads by Hoggard in this game. 31-27 is the Mavericks' advantage with 2:45 left in the third. Here's Shivers, who again has been running the point. They're trying to get a little bit more involved offensively. Here's a dribble drive, and she's fouled on the perimeter. And that will be the first on McGuire.
There's a lot of contact out on the perimeter as Shivers drives in. It's the nudge, that left elbow.
And face-on comes in, replacing Jasmine Stone. Non-shooting foul, Vikings will throw in, open in the corner, chance. Online but long, Hobbs the rebound, quick outlet. Young in the open floor to the hole, gets the bank shot, draws the foul on Fitzgerald. The lead to 6 for the Mavericks.
Mallard Creek trying to go on a run here. Beautiful pass from Hobbs up the floor. Young with the ability to hang in the air, finish through the contact.
First foul on Fitzgerald. And the Tatum and Atkinson free throw is put down by Young. 34-27, a 7-point lead now for the Mavericks. And now they will need Shivers to turn things around here. Late third quarter. Takes the staggered screen. Fitzgerald gets it to Lily Voth on the floor. Three-pointers missed out front by Chance. Mallard Creek the rebound.
Get the ball to Hobbs, play through her. She's been your best offensive option.
So here's Anderson. One-on-one against Voth. And a travel charge against McGuire right in front of the Mallard Creek bench.
Possession back to Hoggard.
Minute 43 left, third quarter. Shivers 7 points in the contest, 4 in this third quarter. Fitzgerald holding high. Hobbs guarding her 28 feet away. There's some space down in the lane, but it's a 5-out right now for the Vikings. And they spread things out. Voth. Fitzgerald shut down, in trouble, and a timeout, saving the possession. Bubakar calls a timeout for Hoggard. And again, he's very animated on the sideline, animated with the officials, and animated with his team in these huddles, Jay. That's what we've seen over the last hour or so as he tries to lead Hoggard to a state title, but they need to smooth things out here in the final quarter.
That was a smart timeout with his team in trouble. You don't want to give up another turnover. So bring your team over to the sideline, regroup, set up a play. But you're down by 7. You've got to get your offense going now. And Mallard Creek doing a really nice job on the defensive end, but this is where your top scorers have to start stepping up. And that's Fitzgerald, Shivers, Altman. Those three in this ball game are leading the way. And they've got to create a spark. They need to go on a run here to cut in the lead.
All right, Hoggard down by 7 points in the women's 8A championship game. Altman looking around the floor. Shivers takes the bounce pass. Count is on, being shouted by Anderson. Haven't seen this matchup a lot tonight. The two best players going heads up on the perimeter. We get a foul, though, that will bail out Hoggard.
Hoggard is being physical out on the perimeter. Finally get the foul. That pressure on Shivers has been there throughout the game. It's just stressful when she's got the ball. They're throwing different bodies at her to slow her down.
The Vikings will throw in Shivers, this time against McGuire. Fitzgerald thinking about it. She's made 3 already in this contest. And they're just not giving Shivers any opportunity to get the deep jumper or the mid-range here. Fitzgerald has the range, nails another one. Her 4th of the championship in 5 attempts. 30 seconds left. It's a 4-point lead for Mallard Creek, late 3rd.
She's been on fire. Just go back to that play. She has been excellent throughout this ball game, shooting the ball.
Hobbs working on Fitzgerald, defends well, forces a miss. And the Vikings can slice into the deficit before the end of the 3rd. Shivers takes a screen. 7 seconds left. Underhand pass got through. Chance to the corner. Altman short for 3. Rebound to the Mavs. And that will take us to the end of the 3rd. Mallard Creek in a low-scoring tussle takes a 4-point lead to the final quarter. Neither team has won a state title before. 8 minutes away. Mallard Creek up 34-30 after 3. Stats through 3, brought to you by Arthritis Knee Pain Center. Relief without surgery or opioids.
3-point shot for Hoggard, 6 for 14. Fitzgerald has been connecting from the outside. +5 for Mallard Creek, very similar to the halftime stats. The turnovers for Hoggard, 9, only 6 for the Mavs.
And there are the points in the paint, presented by Raleigh's Garage Door Experts, ready to roll. Final quarter, 34-30 lead for Mallard Creek. Hoggard basketball man-to-man for the Mavs as the 4th begins. And again, the big player offensively for the Vikings has been Avery Fitzgerald, number 23. She's 4 out of 5 from 3-point range. And all of them effectively have come from behind the key and further. She sets the screen. Chance takes it to the right. Now Jones brings it back to the strong side of the floor. This is Fitzgerald. 30 seconds have gone by in this 4th quarter on this possession. Whistle blown. Shooting foul will send Altman to the line. And that is going to be the 3rd on Anderson.
Number 4, Tiara Anderson, that's her 3rd.
So Airly Altman, sophomore, 8 points in the championship. Makes the first and one more coming from the See-Through Construction free throw line. See-Through Construction, your contractor of choice. on the OBS. 34-32. Vikings again staying in range. They've had two very small and short-lived leads. Trailed by as many as 7 in that third quarter. Faison, tough runner, no good. Rebound to Jones.
Hoggard just looking for a run here. Coming out, you get the 2 free throws. Can they string things together?
Big call right there. Sneaking through. Shivers found a little seam, a lot of ball in this block, but maybe a bit of the arm as well. That's the 4th foul now on Anderson.
I think she got the ball, but there was contact towards her head area with an elbow, and that's where the foul was called.
It looks like she's going to be subbed out of the game. Free throw is good for Shivers. So in comes Easterling, and out goes Anderson with those 4 fouls. This one is for the tie. And Bubakar, Owls Vikings have clawed back from 7 down. 34 all. 7 straight points now by Hoggard. Easterling will take the screen. Face on. Now the Hoggard fans and the Hoggard bench is going to get more deeply engaged. Foul here on Hoggard. Some complaints by a couple of Vikings on the floor. And that'll be the 2nd on Chance.
I just think Mallard Creek has to continue to get the ball to Hobbs. Good things happen when you give her opportunities. There's a foul called. She's got 13 points. Just continue to give her looks. It forces a lot of pressure on the Vikings defense.
First foul on Hoggard in the final quarter. They bounce to Hobbs to the high post. A takeaway, though, back by McGuire. And a wise decision by Sydney McGuire. Wheels it all the way back out front. 34-34. Faison tried to scoop it left hand. Got a lot of a palm of a Viking player, and Hoggard has it with a chance for the lead here.
Chance being physical, making it hard to get through to the hoop.
Shivers to the corner. Altman toward the rim, and she got bumped. And a Mallard Creek foul. And that will go on McGuire, her 2nd.
The offense looking much better, and the driving lanes are there. Hoggard's taking them. That's a good take from Altman. They are recognizing there's enough room to operate down on the baseline and knowing that the defense wasn't set up that she could get a foul call.
There is the lead for Hoggard. One more free throw coming from the see-through construction free throw line. Missed it left, so 1 of 2. A 1-point lead for Hoggard, 35-34. 2 minutes have gone by in this 4th quarter. Hobbs, some space off the right side. Wants to attack Chance, she will. Spin right by her, missed the layup. Fitzgerald the rebound. Hoggard basketball, Shivers riding McGuire down the sideline. And going down is McGuire, and then freeze of Shivers for the restart to the rim.
What awareness and balance from Shivers as the timeout is called. She drove in, brings it back out, then goes through and attacks and finishes.
10 straight by the Vikings, and a Mallard Creek timeout. Watch the defender go down. Moving back right there, the fake. The slip, the slight ankle turn by McGuire, and then the reload. And the unencumbered layup for Shivers. This is the most confidence we've seen this Viking team play with all game.
Yeah, they've really looked much better here the last couple minutes scoring the basketball. Now you're down by 7. You're in a timeout where you're up 3. Mallard Creek is reeling. So on offense, I think the message is continue to go downhill, ball moving to the outside, but go towards the rim and be aggressive.
I'll tell you what, just watching these huddles, body language speaks volumes, doesn't it? I mean, look how engaged the Vikings are in this huddle. And then you look on the Mallard Creek side, and eyes are wandering a little bit. There's doubt creeping across the faces.
And you've got to have that belief and kind of use it as motivation.
Yeah.
Things aren't going your way, but we're inside of 5.5 minutes left in this ballgame.
Yeah, for a state title. Carolyn Dixon, she is known for developing talent through an academy that she started years ago. So now coming back to the high school ranks as Mallard Creek playing for its first state championship. Now the Mavs are down by 3. Hobbs lays it now to Jasmine Stone. Easterling back on the floor as well. Looking for the right combination. Snaking on the baseline, shot missed by Young. Offensive rebound, there's Hobbs, look at her work. Got her on miss again, and draws the foul. They needed that second and third effort from Camry Hobbs.
Now 8 rebounds for Hobbs. See her go up, just continue to stay with it. 4 on the offensive side, so those second chance opportunities have really benefited her.
Third foul on Chance. One more free throw for Hobbs. And Anderson back on the floor for the Mavericks with 4 fouls. See-through construction, your contractor of choice on the OBX. 1 of 2 for Hobbs. 37-35 Hoggard. Winding down inside 5 minutes for regulation. They want Shivers to go left. She does. She'll drive, and a wild shot, but right into the hands of her teammate, Ella Jones.
The double team over on Shivers allowed that backside of the rim to be wide open and clear for Jones to get the offensive board.
39-35 Hoggard. A strip, ball loose, and a quick whistle, tie up. Mavericks retain possession.
Possession arrow is with the Mavericks.
4:27 left in the fourth quarter. 8A Women's Championship. Stone gets it into McGuire. Back to Stone. Catch and release. Way long. Vikings rebound. Another tie-up, and this time will go Hoggard's way.
Another jump ball on the floor. Possession arrow this time with the Vikings.
Bubakar, 50-year-old Georgetown grad, moved to the U.S. in the early 1990s. He won his 300th career game back in January. This would be an unforgettable victory in his career. Fitzgerald, tightly played by Hobbs. Off the right wing, Altman tried to jump stop, but she travels. Basketball back to Mallard Creek. When we return, it is the final media timeout of regulation of the 8A state championship game. Hoggard has come back from 7 down, leading by 4 over Mallard Creek. Back inside the Joel Coliseum. Fourth quarter for the 1A title. Hoggard leading Mallard Creek 39-35. Now these Vikings, there are several players on this squad who've been left in tears the last couple of years, losing in the regional final. Last year to Wakefield, the previous year to Roseville. You're talking about Shivers, you're talking about Fitzgerald, you're talking about Chance and Guthman and Ella Jones. They said as difficult as it was to deal with the broken heart of losing those games, they said it wasn't our time then, But it's our time now, and they've come back from 7 points down, Jay, and have a 4-point lead with about 3:40 to go.
This is closing time. You've got to finish.
Anderson misses a 3 from the corner. Shivers the rebound, and Hoggard can build on a 4-point lead.
Imagine they're going to use some clock here. Take their time.
Altman over to Jones. Shivers makes a cut, the bad pass, it's intercepted. And here's Young the other way, past 2 defenders, and gets the layup to go. Critical mistake, 2-point game, Hoggard on top. Nearing 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
It's all about protecting the basketball here on these big possessions here. And Shivers, like she's calling for the pick.
Chance lays it to Fitzgerald. She draws Hobbs out on him. Altman. Now Jones. And the ball pried away. Knocked out by Stone. Stays with Hoggard with 2:41 to go.
Welcome back, number 5, London Campbell.
London Campbell returns for the Mavericks, replacing Stone. 39-37, Vikings by 2. Altman. Now Chance. Very slow. Better offensive set here. The hand is Shivers, and it's off as Shivers goes out of bounds. Campbell, who just came in the game, forces the turnover on the sideline.
I was thinking Hoggard may call a timeout there as the defensive pressure was coming through. Just trying to tightrope on that sideline. Now Mallard Creek an opportunity to go up by 1 with a 3 or tie it with a 2.
Here's Anderson. Campbell plays it through McGuire. Hobbs now comes to the point, takes the pass out of her range. Under 2 minutes for regulation. Mallard Creek ball down 2. Anderson gonna try and break down the defender. Tough runner in the lane, off the rim, and the rebound lands out of bounds, and the Vikings could not corral it. Stays with the Mavericks.
Every loose ball so important. It bounces in favor here for the Mavs.
Baseline out of bounds. Anderson. That was a dangerous pass. Swatted out by Chance. 1:46 left. Both teams 3 timeouts. Arrow belongs to Mallard Creek. Unguarded is Campbell. Trouble getting it in. Hobbs grabs it in the corner. And out front they come to Anderson. Anderson spins, lost control. Shivers the steal. It's a 2-on-1 if they want it. Shivers attacks, contact, and no foul. And it is out of bounds to Hoggard. Well, the official on the baseline was ready to blow the whistle. And then she kind of shook herself off, saying, I'm expecting contact, but I didn't see it, so I'm not calling it. And that's a lot of ball right there. I think that's the right call. Timeout on the floor with 1:32 remaining fourth quarter. And Bubakar is really upset with that non-call.
Yeah, he wanted that one and thought he had it. And Shivers' reaction thought she was going to the free throw line. But now it's about regrouping, setting things up. Both teams have plenty of timeouts here, but over for Mallard Creek, you're trying to find a way. You were up in this ball game. Now you're down by 2. You've got to scrap here on the defensive end.
Minute 32 left. So there's a look at the head coach for Hoggard. Bubakar Al. A 10-year pro career in Central and South America after his career for the Georgetown Hoyas wrapped up. Born in Senegal, moved to the U.S. in the early 90s. And now he is trying to will this Hoggard Viking women's side to a championship. And I know it's nowhere in the front of his mind, but after the men crestfallen on that loss about an hour and a half ago, I think he probably feels like he has to get this done for the Wilmington community and Hoggard High School. And here they are, much like the men were, leading inside the final 2 minutes of regulation. Then the women nail it down. And we get a whistle, and another timeout has been taken.
He saw the clock winding down there on the 5 seconds. And a good job there. When you've got 2, go ahead and use one. Don't leave it to chance.
So the huddle for the Vikings. There's a look at the Mavericks. Carlin Dixon, she's done a nice job getting her team to kind of get the heads back on after they gave up that 7-point lead and fell behind. Hobbs with 14 points to lead the squad. Anderson has 9.
You're on this out-of-bounds play. You've got to make strong picks, hard cuts, and come to the ball because the defense is going to be there. They're going to be hustling, selling out to try to get a turnover, jump in the passing lane.
Hoggard now has only 1 timeout left. Mallard Creek has 3. And there's the Mallard Creek in the 4th quarter, 1 of 9 from the floor, but only down by 2. They were up by 4 when this 4th quarter began. But Mallard Creek has scored only 3 points so far in the 4th quarter. Vikings will trigger on the baseline. Into the corner it comes, Chance. Altman out top against McGuire. Here's Shivers being held, not called. Down the lane, and she got fouled. It's on the floor. And that is the 4th team foul on Mallard Creek. And this one goes against Campbell.
I like Shivers recognizing she had an opportunity to take it all the way, being aggressive, not being passive out on the perimeter.
All right, in it comes Avery Fitzgerald in the hands of Altman. 1:20 for regulation. Hoggard ball up 2. Fitzgerald against Hobbs and a reach in by Camry Hobbs.
Mavericks foul, charge to 35, Camry Hobbs.
Second on Hobbs. And the 5th team foul on Mallard Creek, so a 2-shot foul now for Fitzgerald. So Fitzgerald, massive free throws. All she's done today is make 3-pointers. And leaves the first free throw short. One more from the See-Through Construction free throw line. See-Through Construction, your contractor of choice on the OBX. 1 of 2 for Fitzgerald. 3-point game, 40-37. 1:10 left in the championship. Mallard Creek only 2 of 11 from distance in the game. Campbell plays to Anderson as we go below 1 minute. Here's McGuire for the tie! Sydney McGuire, her second 3 of the half. Tie game, 45 seconds left. Now what will Babakar Ao do? He only has 1 timeout. Are they going to play this down? Shivers attacks, whistle, blocking foul. And to the line goes Shivers.
What a big shot from McGuire on the other side. And then Shivers, the tie ball game, just taking over. And she saw an opportunity. She took it. Coming back here with McGuire. Anderson finds her open teammate. 1 dribble. Good look from the outside and under pressure. She drains it.
And Jay, by the way, that foul was on Kiara Anderson. She has fouled out of the game. Her final high school contest. So the great career for Anderson is over, but the outcome unsettled. Shivers in and out. And it was missed free throws down the stretch from McGrath in the men's game in the final minute that gave West Charlotte the opportunity to win it. And Shivers misses the first, and we get a timeout. Now it's Mallard Creek freezing Shivers, just like West Charlotte did with McGrath. And the men's team for the Hoggard Vikings, I mean, they are right behind the backboard in the end zone where Shivers is going to be shooting his free throw. 40-40, 34 seconds left.
And right now for Hoggard, your mindset is knocking down this free throw. They're playing great defense, and there's a Hoggard boys team played so well.
What a year they had, goodness gracious.
And for the Mavs, got a box out here on the free throw. Then regardless of the make or the miss, I'm going through Hobbs. I'm trying to set something up with her on the low block and give her a touch.
All right, Shivers right back to the foul line, 3 of 5 tonight. The Hoggard senior tries to put the Vikings back on top. Leaves it short. She missed a pair. Rebound Mavericks. Will they hold for the final shot?
They are. They're pulling it back out.
The bench is standing for Mallard Creek, and yeah, Carolyn Dixon, the head coach, is saying we're taking one shot, but they have 2 timeouts left if they want to take it down and call a TO.
They're going to let them play through.
10 seconds ago, McGuire in a tie game for the state title. Steps back, Hobbs with 7, on the deck with 5, locates the sideline. Stone up top, but comes McGuire for the title. Missed it, and we're heading to overtime. And the Vikings get the stop in desperate fashion. And it is 40-all at the end of regulation. And I tell you what, Jay, not second guessing, but when you have 25, 30 seconds left, there wasn't a lot happening on that last offensive set. I'm a little surprised that Dixon did not call a timeout to set up a play with maybe 10 or 11 seconds left.
Yeah, and the thought there is sometimes you play through with the defense not having an opportunity to set a game plan to get a stop. Then on the other end, if you call the timeout, you can set things up perfectly to try to execute the shot that you want. There, it doesn't work out, but for Hoggard, you have the lead, and then all of a sudden you don't. You got to hold on to get into overtime, and now it's about fresh start, regroup. It's a whole new ball game, and getting back out there to try to win the game.
I mean, there's a lot of regrouping going on. Mallard Creek had a lead. Hoggard came back, took a lead by 7. They gave it back. A couple of missed free throws down the stretch for the Hoggard Vikings. Matter of fact, 3 critical missed free throws. But then Mallard Creek didn't get a high percentage look on that last possession. And so perhaps our destiny was to play 4 more extra minutes. That is what they put on the clock. And Jay, with Kiara Anderson fouling out with 34 seconds left, what does her departure now mean for how this Mallard Creek offense and defense looks in overtime without her?
Well, I'll tell you what, she's your top offensive player. She is your senior leader, one of many on this team. And without her, you have to go to your next best option in this game. They're going to miss her, but you know, I've said throughout the ball game, go to Hobbs. And she's got 14 points. She's been very effective. She's got to take over.
Deflected out. Hoggard basketball. Overtime underway for the 8A Women's North Carolina Basketball Championship. Altman will trigger it in. Shivers, a little hesitation. Bounce to the corner. Open up front, Jones. Missed the 3. Offensive rebound. Shivers is there. And a foul on Mallard Creek. And that's going to be the second on Jasmine Stone.
Mavs not boxing out to get the board. And Shivers, after that drive, dishing it off, she got in position to regain possession and get the foul.
So shooting fouls the rest of the way for Hoggard. Meanwhile, the Vikings defense, they got a couple of fouls to give here, which could come into play in overtime. The lead returns to Hoggard. Shivers has 12 points, 4 assists, 4 of 7 from the line. One more coming. Lead is 2, and OT for the Vikings. 42-40 Hoggard. McGuire, a couple of big threes for the Mavericks in the second half. She's going to run the offense now. Stone, back to McGuire. Hobbs against Shivers. Shivers digs at it, knocks it loose, and a tie up. Arrow keeps it with Mallard Creek.
Jump ball. Possession arrow is with Mallard Creek.
Now, how's the stamina holding up for all these players?
That's
right?
a great point. I mean,
They played a lot of games the postseason, not a lot of days in between, and now 4 extra minutes.
Not a lot of substitutions in this game either.
Nope. Now off the ball, foul going on Hoggard. It's going to be a chance right there. She got connected with Hobbs. And that's her 4th. Third foul in the 4th quarter plus for the Vikings. So a throw in for the Mavs. They bounce it in. Young facing up. Got it to Stone on the run. Stone gets the roll. Tied at 42.
Nice cut to the hoop.
Shivers. Put off a Campbell. Driving. Shivers leaves the layup short. And the Mavericks, Young with the rebound. Young down the floor. Finding Stone. Open for 3. No. Rebound, though, to Mallard Creek.
They just hustled for that board. Wanted it. Getting in position. Now they can bring it out. Reset.
2:40 to go. Altman went for the steal and missed. And back in the hands of McGuire. Skip to the corner. Hobbs across the lane. Got stripped. Lost the ball. And here come the Vikings. They don't have numbers, but look, weaving through some traffic. Shivers. And Boubacar out. Yelling out for the play call here. Screen to the right for Shivers with 2:15 to play. Overtime for the 8A championship. Deflected pass. Young tries to pick up, and she was held, and you could almost make a case for that to be an intentional foul. That was going to be a steal in the backcourt and a gimme layup, but it is a common holding foul here. Let's take a look.
And they're extending pressure. Good job there, getting in to knock the ball loose from Young.
42-42. Almost halfway through overtime. Campbell plays it to McGuire. In the corner, they're daring Hobbs to shoot. She will, and she buries it. Camry Hobbs, who's been a wrecking ball on the inside tonight, knocks down a 3 from the corner in overtime. Foul at the other end.
They were daring her to shoot it. That was beautiful look there from Hobbs. Her feet set, knocks it in. But a quick response from Shivers coming back.
Oh, and another missed free throw by Shivers. She's missed 3 in the last few moments. 45-42, Mallard Creek. Shivers makes 1-2. 1 minute, 40 seconds left. Mallard Creek 45, Hoggard 43. Breaking the presser, but then losing the handle. McGuire, takeaway by Hoggard. A 2 for the tie, a 3 for the overtime lead. Shivers will take the screen to their right and get fouled as Campbell is trying to fight through. Now both teams are now in the bonus, the double bonus for Hoggard. Stops the clock with 1:20. So Shivers, 6 out of 10 from the line today. Shoots 2 and got the 4-2 in his roll. 45-44. These haven't been the most convincing of free throws for Shivers. That one is, and we're all square. 45-45. Mallard Creek basketball, a nail biter for the Class 8A title. Minute 10 to go, Mallard Creek basketball. Here's Hobbs. Now you have to honor her from the outside, so Chance comes out on her. One dribble and gives it up to London Campbell. Inside a minute for OT. 45 all.
And they may try to hold here, Patrick.
They held for the final about 35 seconds in regulation. Didn't win it. They're trying to hold the final 110. And Hobbs sees the defender Shivers close on her a bit. And now we get a timeout taken by Mallard Creek. All right, 37 seconds left. Mallard Creek still has 2 timeouts to burn. Walk us
Yeah.
into what you think Coach Dixon is calling here, Jay.
Well, I think right now she's bringing her team over with the Hoggard Vikings. This is pressure moments. And for the Mavs, you're telling your team right now, hey, we've got 2 timeouts. If you get in trouble, we can stop the clock. But I think the big thing is, we've talked throughout this about executing here, making strong cuts. They're going to try to waste time here to take the final shot. They're not going to look to shoot this quick. So I expect movement on the perimeter, maybe back cuts to try to spring something. But they want to set this up for Hobbs, your best offensive player. She had a big 3-point shot, whether it's on the outside or in the low or high post. Give her a look, but I would narrow this down to about 15 seconds. Then you're going to look to attack. Now on Hoggard's side,
How are you defending this? Are you going to play back?
no,
or are you gonna
I
press?
am going to pressure because you're going to force them to make difficult decisions, and you're hoping for a turnover. You don't want to sit back because then you're just going to give them the final shot. So you want to see if they can handle the pressure without turning the ball over.
And Boubacar will release his team to the floor. 37 seconds left in overtime. Mallard Creek basketball in a 45-all tie with Hoggard. It's going to be a first ever state title for one of these teams. The clock is ticking down. We're at 30 seconds. They are pressuring the ball. Working on McGuire. Tough pass into the hands of Stone. Right back to McGuire. Throws down. Wide open is Young. The lead to the Mavericks. 20 seconds left. 47-45. Hoggard basketball. Shivers, contact, throws it up, no, off glass. Rebound, Mallard Creek. And Young dribbling away. Clock down to 7 seconds. And a foul at midcourt taken by Hoggard.
They were showing a zone defense with pressure up front, and somehow Young was just hiding. There, look, her arms go up. Excellent pass from McGuire to find her. Quick turnaround and knocks it in, and now the momentum is with Mallard Creek.
Jay, that had to have been the longest moment for Young, because not only was she raising her hands on the return past the point, her hands were up 2 passes before that, still unguarded. I don't know how long they're going to know I'm not back here, but get me the ball.
It was interesting because she was trying to let her teammates know she was open, but she was hiding from Hoggard. She didn't want them to notice. She stayed patient there, their arms up, making connection. The eye contact with her teammate, McGuire, found her. Beautiful pass.
7.5 left in overtime. So Mallard Creek will be at the free throw line for 2. If you make them both, you are in the driver's seat. If you miss a pair, Hoggard's going to have a great shot. If you split, Hoggard will still have an attempt. It'll be the junior, Sydney McGuire, at the free throw line for the Mavericks. She's walking all the way back out to midcourt to get herself in the right headspace. There's a 2-shot foul. McGuire hit 2 seismic 3-pointers in the second half. 3-point game. And did she look 100% locked and loaded? This could be the one. And this could settle it all. The junior, Sydney McGuire, makes it a 4-point game. Timeout, Mallard Creek. And McGuire has hit some of the biggest shots in this championship for Mallard Creek. The lead is 4, and now Hoggard needs to go the length of the floor, get a quick 2 even, take a foul, and hope for a miss. Everything has to go pitch perfect for Hoggard.
Yeah, and Mallard Creek 9 for 11 from the free throw line. Hoggard getting there 20 times and only knocking in 13. And there's some separation there, and those are 2 big ones. These late game moments, Mallard Creek making a couple plays, and now the message for Hoggard is, hey, we've got to go quick. We need a 3. And being down 4, you're going to have to make a couple plays. And over on the other side, the Mavs just make it difficult, but no fouls. Apply pressure, but do not risk it at all with fouling.
All right, the clock is Mallard Creek's biggest ally. The Mavs will not defend the inbounder. And it's going to be Caroline. They get it in. It's in Shiver's hands. The clock ticks with 5. Crosses half court with 4. Moves, makes a pass. They're not going to get a shot off. It's over. And Mallard Creek, for the first time in their school's history, is the state basketball champs of Class 8A. A 49-45 overtime win over the Hoggard Vikings. And a classic women's basketball big school grinder. Defenses were the calling card for both teams today. Neither team shot higher than 38%. It goes overtime, and Mallard Creek, a 4-point win to celebrate their first state title. They were in the regional finals the last 2 years, got knocked out. It was their time in 2026. And Mallard Creek, the 8A state champions. Overtime final, Mallard Creek, a state champion in women's basketball for the first time. They'd lost 6 regional finals. They finally got there and broke through tonight. Jay Sohnhalter is with the winning head coach, Carlin Dixon.
Well, Coach, this was a game of runs. Your team had an early lead. Then as the game's closing out, you had to scrape and claw your way to get it into overtime. What was your message to your team just to get it into overtime?
Yeah, I mean, we just tell them, like, the game isn't over. You know, we had plenty of time. I think they had a 4-point lead at that time, you know, and we're like, don't hang your head. You know, you got to keep fighting, got to keep playing. And we honestly, we've been in these positions all year long, just playing tough teams, game in and game out. So, you know, we really prepared for the moment all year.
In some of those close situations, your team looks so comfortable. There's so many big shots, good defensive plays. What was your message to your team when they had to come up with a spark?
Yeah, so really we talked about on the offensive end, just staying patient, you know what I mean, not rushing, making sure that we took great shots, not good shots, but great shots. And then defensively, you know, we played man most of the game, so knowing that those back screens were coming, you know, we talked about kind of trying to get in the passing lanes a little bit and jump the passes so that we could get out and try and get some fast break layups, and they did that at the right time.
And I know this game means so much to you, your team, this whole community that's come here to support you. How does it feel to be a state championship game, win it, and bring this back to Mallard Creek?
Man, it feels amazing. This is long overdue for this program. We talked about it. Mallard Creek girls basketball is very rich in its history. So many players and coaches, Coach CJ and Coach Sarge, you know, definitely want to honor Coach CJ who passed in 2024. This was one of his dreams, and you know, we're just glad to have gotten it done, and for his grandson to have gotten it done right before us. Like it just means so much. You know, it's long overdue.
Congratulations, you're a state champion, and this was an outstanding game.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks a lot, Jay. Thank you, Carlin Dixon. Long overdue, as she said. They've been knocking on the door of a state championship appearance, and they finally get here, and it is their time. All right, let's get to our play of the game tonight from this 8A championship. Brought to you by Akeem Anastapolu Law Firm. Injured? Don't scream. Call Akeem. Dial 800 all sevens. And here it is, the game winner, the pass to Baeja Young, waiting. Covert style behind the defense. Finally got the pass her way. And there she is, the game-winning bucket for the Mavericks as they defeat Hoggard by a final score of 49-45 in overtime. Now time now for the Riddle & Riddle player of the game. Sponsored by Riddle & Riddle Injury Lawyers, when justice counts. And Jay, Camry Hobbs, tremendous for the Mavericks tonight. She's our player of the game.
She was amazing on offense, her outside shooting, her defensive pressure, everything that she brought. She was just a consistent force. There wasn't an answer for her production. And that big three-pointer she had at the end of the ball game is what really changed the outlook of this game for her team.
There's her number, 17 points, 8 rebounds. And as we wrap things up on day one, I mean, the emotions are real, the cuts are deep. As I look to the Hoggard Vikings, who have already taken their medals, their runner-up trophy, tears are flowing all the way down the line for the runner-ups from Hoggard. And meanwhile, smiles you cannot wipe off the faces for months. For the Mallard Creek Mavericks, this means everything to all these players, so much dedication and devotion. And just a 4-point loss in overtime for Hoggard, and the Mavericks etched some school history.
Just sitting here and watching both teams, for the team that comes up short, your heart just breaks for them because you know all the work that they put into it, how much it means. Then you look over on the other side, and Mallard Creek is happy as can be, all the joy, the excitement of reaching their goal and doing it together as a team. So part of you feels for one side, then the other side, you're so happy that they can have this moment and share it together and cap off their season the way Mallard Creek did.
Yeah, and there's so much finality for a lot of these players. For Hoggard, Shivers, Fitzgerald, Chance, Guthman, all seniors. Many may have played their last competitive game, although we know that Shivers is heading to Bellarmine. For Mallard Creek, you have Eastonley, Young, Stone, Anderson, and Hobbs. They're all seniors, so they played their last high school team as a unit. And for these squads, especially for Hoggard, regional final loss 2 years ago, regional final last year. They finally get the state championship, have the win maybe near the palm of their hands, and it slips away in the final couple moments in overtime. They have lived a lifetime together of adversity and trials over their last 4 years at Hoggard High School. But the Mallard Creek Mavericks, first ever appearance in a title game, and they get it done. 24-6 overall. And for Carlin Dixon, she mentioned about what this means for the members of the Mallard Creek community who have since passed, and what it means now for the program that they've been oh so close for so many years. And even for Coach Dixon, with the program, left for a few years, came back. Unfinished business has now been taken care of.
And you could just tell the emotion from that interview with her, what it means. And we were talking there during the commercial break just how fast this all happens. And, just then 5-10 minutes, you're a state champion, and it goes by so quick. She'll have an opportunity to watch this film, reflect, and go back and really take this all in. But they are just riding a high right now on what they were able to accomplish, and the way they did it, being behind, having to find a way to come back, extend the game, and then they close it out in overtime.
Yeah, and she mentioned what effort it took from the coaching staff through all the players to keep their heads up and locked in the game when they fell behind in the latter stages of the fourth quarter. We noticed it here too. It was not easy to do, to convert those sunken shoulders and the dropped heads into a position of we can fight back and win this championship, which they did. Most outstanding player for the Vikings on the runner-up side, Tristan Shivers. Shivers 16 points, 4 of 16 shooting, but 8 of 12 from the foul line, and still overcome by the enormity of the emotions, falling just 4 points short. And now for Mallard Creek, the most outstanding performance, and that is Maisha Young, the game-winning bucket on a terrific pass from the outside. She tried to stay stealth as long as she could behind the defense because there's a state championship waiting on that pass. It finally got to her fingertips. And now awaiting the MVP of the championship. And it is going to be Camry Hobbs, the senior who played brilliantly.
Mallard Creek, and it's number 35, Camry Hobbs.
She knew it was coming. And a lifetime moment for Hobbs and the entirety of the Mallard Creek Mavericks. 7th time is a charm. They got through the regional finals finally, and they win their first state championship tonight. Let's get to our final stats, brought to you by the Arthritis Knee Pain Center. Relief without surgery or opioids.
Mallard Creek down at the bottom, 30 rebounds. That was their extra effort in this game that allowed them to win it, and then knocking down their free throws. And over on the other side, Hoggard played so well, looked like they were going to win this ball game, but Mallard Creek just kept chipping away, staying in it, and then they made a couple plays to outlast and get the state championship victory.
And now the Ready to Roll Garage Doors points in the paint, brought to you by Ready to Roll. Call Raleigh's garage door experts today. 20-12 advantage for Middle Creek. Well, Jay, that wraps up day one. The entire crew is 25% through the 16 championship games. We are back for the women's and men's championships on Saturday night at 5 o'clock and 7:30 in the 7A contest. So get some rest. We'll see you then. All right, all of us like to take a minute to thank the great sponsor partners of ours, Riddle & Riddle Injury Lawyers, Air Experts Heating and Cooling, Tatum & Atkinson, See-Through Construction, Ready to Roll Garage Doors, Arthritis Knee Pain Center, the Akeem Manastapolo Law Firm, Paramount Auto, Tip Top Roofing, Original Grills, and Ingles Markets. All these sponsor partners, through their contributions to the program, make these championship games possible for all of our viewers around the state and around the world. Next up tomorrow, noon, the 2A men will kick it off. Queens Grant, Warren County. Check your local stations for availability. Final score in overtime, Mallard Creek 49, Hoggard 45, their first state title. For Jay and the entire crew, Patrick Keenan saying so long from Winston-Salem.